This is the story how I met my wife. It was the year of 1945 when this story began. About a little girl I met in a little country church in a small community. For some reason, I happened to be at that church on that Sunday night. Maybe that was the way it was supposed to happen. For on that night, I saw the little girl in my dreams. When church was going on, I was outside the church and saw something through the window that really caught my eye. It was a little dark-haired girl, about 102 pounds, with a deep voice. For some reason, I had to meet her. After church, she and a few friends walked up the road together, having a conversation with my friend. I found out she was having her 15th birthday, and I had been invited to her birthday party. Well, I was pretty glad she had invited me, for I sure did want to know more about this girl. A few days later passed, and time came for her party. We had a good time, played some games, and talked a little. After the party was over, I got on my horse and rode into the sunset. I didn't get to see her for several weeks. After that, I had just turned 18 and was called in the United States Army. A few days passed and I was in town to pick up some supplies I would need to take with me to the service. I went into the drugstore to look for something I needed. To my surprise, this dark-haired girl just happened to be there. Boy, was I glad, because I had been wanting to see her again. Since I was leaving for the service, we began to say hi to each other. We talked a while, and I asked her if I could buy her a milkshake. Her reply was yes. We sat down and had a shake and ice cream before we left this drugstore. I asked if I could write to her, and the answer was yes. We exchanged addresses and left the store. We didn't see each other again for about 17 weeks. I was sent to Little Rock, Arkansas, and I was sent to Camp Alders, Texas, where I took my basic training. After I finished my basic training, I went to Fort Ord, California. There I spent a few weeks. I was to go to the South Pacific, but I had signed up for another year of service in the Army. So I was sent home on a 2-week leave. This is when I really got to know this little girl well. It must have been the third night I got home that I got my first kiss. Boy, was I on top of the world. My heart pumped fast for a few minutes. When I settled down, we spent a lot of time in those 2 weeks. My leave had ended and it was time for me to say goodbye again. I left for overseas and was sent to Munich, Germany. I was there about 9 months. When I returned to the United States, boy, was I glad to be back. When I arrived, I was sent to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and was there a few days, and I became discharged from the Army on November 23rd, 1946. Well, the very next day, I caught a bus home. It seemed like that bus was never going to get to Paris. When we finally arrived, the first thing I went to do was to see the love of my life. When I got to her house, she was so surprised her mother had to boost her out the door. I think she went into shock. We spent a lot of time together after this. So after a few weeks, I decided to get her an engagement ring. One night, we were in a cafe playing the jukebox and having lunch. I told her to reach under the table, for I had something to give her. I put the ring box in her hand, and when she had opened it, she put it on her finger. She seemed very pleased and happy to receive it. A short time later, we were riding around, and she asked me if I would like to get married. So I took this as a proposal. It never took me long to say yes. For the rest of the story, this little dark-haired girl that I saw through the window of that church that night became my wife on December the 24th, 1946, and her name was Bobbie.
Come down from Rocky Top, reckon they never will. Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Once two strangers climbed over Rocky Top, looking for a moonshine still. Strangers, they come down from Rocky Top, reckon they never will. Corn don't grow at all on Rocky Top, dirt's too rocky by far. That's why all the folks on Rocky Top get their corn from a jar. She knows it. Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee.